Okay. Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome back. You're watching LoadedTV.com. This is What the Heck Tech, and I'm your host, Ken McKim. We do this show every week at 6 p.m.-ish on Thursday nights, Pacific time, and we bring you the latest in tech-related videos and all sorts of gadgetry goodness. So let's dive right in, shall we? First up, let's talk about voice-to-speech translation. Now, there's a lot of companies that have dabbled in speech translation, but usually it's for programs that take your voice and turn it into text that can then be printed. You know, think about Dragon Naturally Speaking, for example. But Microsoft, I know I bag on Microsoft usually, but Microsoft right now are developing a program that is capable of speech translation during a video call. We're talking real time, and it's pretty mind-blowing stuff. Take a look.
The problem of having a machine understand human speech has been around in research for a very long time. But now at Microsoft, we are on the verge of having a tool available to all that allows us to speak universally with anyone on the planet. For over a decade, we tried to develop the means for improving speech recognition using Gaussian mixture models. All of that changed when our researchers got together and decided to take a new look at the use of deep neural nets applied to speech recognition, now the new gold standard in speech. Research is a long game. By getting smarter every day and sticking with and understanding the value of basic research, we eventually get to a point where wonderful things can happen. Imagine being able to speak in German and have your message conveyed grammatically and semantically correct in English. That future is here. With a Skype translator, it all starts just as with any other Skype call. You just call someone. But now the difference is the person you're calling doesn't have to speak your language.
Die ich dir gestern geschickt habe.
But I wanted to talk to you about the email that I sent you yesterday.
Brauchst du noch irgendwelche Änderungen?
Do you need any changes?
There was one thing though. Could you change the green to a lighter shade?
Könnten Sie das Grün durch einen helleren Farbton ändern?
Ja, wir können das Grün viel heller machen.
Yes, we can make that green much brighter.
Ich sende dir heute Abend eine neue Datei.
I'm sending you a new file tonight.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
Das klingt toll.
With a Skype translator, it's a full human-to-human interaction that crosses the language barrier. It's truly a magical experience.
So how about that? We are finally in an age of technology where we have developed an actual universal translator. Remember Star Trek? Yeah. It's no longer science fiction. This is real. This is happening now. Now, currently, the Skype translator can translate 40 languages, and there's more to come on the way. So it's going to be a little bit longer before this is ready for prime time, but we are supposed to see this by the end of this year. Yes, the end of 2014. This will be rolled out to everyone who has Skype currently, and it's going to be amazing. I love living in the 21st century. It's awesome. Woo! So moving on from, phone calls to cars, which are two things that don't go together. I don't care if you have hands-free or not, but that's another show. Mercedes-Benz is no stranger to including cutting-edge design into their cars. They're very forward-thinking, always have been, but they have a new concept now for an interactive dashboard. They're calling it DICE. This is certainly no exception to pushing the envelope, but you're going to need to judge for yourself if you think it's even a concept worth pursuing. Watch.
have something very exciting. It's called the DICE, and it's our way of envisioning how we will control the vehicle of the future. It's a gesture-based simulator that allows you to completely control all the functions of your car, all the navigation and telematic features with gestures of your hands.
It begins with a windscreen, which is also a projection area where you can project additional information which is based on the context of what you're driving and seeing while you're driving. Your entire dash unit is one large screen with all the information regarding infotainment, regarding your social network, and regarding other areas which are interesting for you in the car.
We know there's touch-based interaction, there's voice-based interaction, and the gesture innovation or the gesture interaction is coming more trendy now. So we try to focus within the automotive environment to really capture your body, to capture your movements of the hands, to have a gesture-based interaction in the car.
For us it's a sculpture, and we at Mercedes-Benz Design, we constantly do these sculptures for different purposes. And so we created that cube, the dice, as the kind of most reduced shape you can imagine in order to put emphasis on the digital experience which happens in there.
We're a brand that is synonymous with leadership. We've led the way through 125 years of the development and evolution of the automobile, and innovation is going to be the engine that's going to keep us at the forefront of redefining the automobile for the next 125 years.
Okay, so don't expect to see this anytime soon. This particular video is from about 2 years ago, around 2012, and even back then they were saying that it would be at least 20 years before it made its appearance in any kind of production models. And to that, I have to say, good. This is a horrible idea. I'm sorry. This is too much distraction. It's bad enough that you have heads-up displays that feed you things that you really shouldn't be reading anyway while you're driving. But this is just pure insanity. The only way that I would get on board with seeing anything like this at all in a production model vehicle is if they could combine this with the self-driving cars that we saw a couple of weeks ago on the show. Remember the Google cars? Yeah. So if you're not going to be driving in the first place, then sure, I guess, go ahead and futz around with your heads-up display and check your stocks and update your Twitter and your Facebook because you're not driving the car. But if you're driving, then drive. That's what you're supposed to do. It's a car. Anyway, thus endeth the rant. Moving on. There's a lot of technology out there for pets. Is this next video life-changing? Nah. Is this technology mind-blowing? No. Is this the cutest thing that I've seen so far in 2014? Oh yeah. Take a look at what this one engineer did to help entertain his pet pooch. So there you have it. Cuteness overload. And with that, it's time to take our first break. But our story of the week later in the show is going to introduce you to a modern roadway that blows anything else that you've seen completely out of the water. You will not believe this. So stay tuned. You're watching What the Heck Tech on LoadedTV.com.
What would make a better world for you? A world where the pointlessly complex is made simple? Wouldn't it be great if someone would just show you how? A world where everything just works effortlessly. Where downtime doesn't have to be downtime. Wherever you are, you know where they are. When you need a hand, it's there. To be free, to be without fear. And know you are never alone. T-Mobile, for a better world for you.
And welcome back. You're watching LoadedTV.com. This is What the Heck Tech, and I'm your host, Ken McKim. So, as we all know, space is quickly filling up on our planet, and the trend towards living spaces is moving towards the ever smaller. To that end, some researchers at MIT have come up with a Microunit Apartment, and it's been developed by a person named Kent Larson and his Changing Places research group at MIT. And they will show us in this video how efficient and, yes, even cool a small space can be. Take a look. So pretty clever, yes. There's no word on when this might actually come to pass, but it sure would be interesting if it ever did. But okay, that's kind of cool, but what if you wanted to go a completely different direction with this? What am I talking about? Well, how about using technology to completely change the look and feel of your small space at a moment's notice, simply based on where you've placed your furniture? Well then, you'd have something that looks a lot like what we're going to see in this video posted by Bernardo Shore of the Parsons School of Design in New York. And it's called a mixed reality living space. Watch. So you can see more fun things like that at Bernardo Shore's YouTube channel, and we'll post the link to this and everything else you've seen tonight on the description window for our YouTube channel at LoadedTV.com. Now, moving on. Touchscreens, of course, everyone uses them. We all love them. Wearable tech like Google Glass doesn't really make full use of touch. I mean, it's a fun display, right? You can look through, it's heads up, you can see what's going on in front of you without looking down at a computer screen. Great. But things like Google Glass and the watches and the Fitbits and all that kind of stuff, it still lacks a really compelling way to interact with everything around you as well as the apps that you use most. Well, now, a company called Mateo wants to change all of that using something that they're calling thermal touch, which can turn just about any surface into a touchscreen. See for yourself.
Hi, my name is Thomas, CEO and co-founder of Mateo. In the last 2 years, we've seen that head-worn devices are coming to the marketplace. What has been unsolved, though, is how are we interacting with these head-worn devices. This is why Mateo has invented the thermal touch technology, which makes any physical object around you a touchable object. So literally, the world becomes a touchscreen. If you use your hands, you can interact with the digital content in any environment.
We created a prototype based on a tablet PC that includes a visible light camera and a thermographic camera. In the future, we assume that there will be head-mounted displays and wearable computers comprising those two cameras. A thermal image provides the pixel-wise temperature of the captured environment. The approach we use to detect touches is based on detection of the thermal energy a surface of an object emits after it has been touched and thereby heated up locally. One very nice feature of thermal touch is that it can clearly distinguish if a surface has actually been touched or if a finger only approached it without any physical contact, and hence significantly less heat transfer. The field of possible applications for thermal-touch is wide. There are many more ways to combine thermal touch for natural interfaces with more modalities, for instance speech input, in the future.
We truly believe that computer vision and augmented reality will change the way we interact with digital information.
So very cool, but keep in mind that this technology is still about 7 years away, but still impressive, right? I mean, it's completely mind-boggling to me. I wonder, maybe, just maybe I could turn my cat into a touchscreen. But she'd love that. Come here, Alley Cat, need to order a pizza. Girl, Alley, no? No. No. All right, maybe not, moving on. It's time for our final commercial break of the evening, and when we come back, we'll have our story of the week. So stay tuned. You're watching LoadedTV.com. This is What the Heck Tech.
Learning to sail, safety, and having fun is what we're all about at Sierra Nevada Community Sailing. If you've never been sailing before, what's better than the Sparks Marina? It's just minutes away from downtown Reno with clear blue water and a stunning backdrop of the Sierra Nevada mountains. We accept all ages. Kids aged 10 to 17 are encouraged to register for our 2-week camps, where they will learn basic sailing through introductory racing skills. Adults can register for 5-week sessions where they will learn basic to advanced sailing skills. Anyone with a disability may contact us for more information on our adaptive sailing program. We supply instructors, boats, and all the gear for a terrific sailing experience. Sierra Nevada Community Sailing is Nevada's first and only nonprofit educational community sailing program. Contact us today at nvsailing.org or call 775-453-0499. Welcome aboard.
And welcome back. This is LoadedTV.com. You're watching What the Heck Tech, and I'm your host, Ken McKim. So here we are, third segment, the What the Heck story for the week. And a few weeks ago, you might remember I showed you this really cool video of roadways where they were using fluorescent paint to paint the lines and everything on the road, and then it would react when the temperatures got low enough and little snowflakes would appear on the ground. It was very cool, right? It's nothing compared to what I am about to show you. This thing is even better. It's completely crazy. Okay, these are talking about roadways that are completely solar and can produce their own power. You are not going to believe this. Look.
But what if there was an invention, just one, that could solve every single one of these problems?
Hi, we're Scott and Julie Broussard, inventors of solar roadways.
We met in the 1960s when we were 3 and 4 years old. Many things have changed since then, but do you know what hasn't changed? Our roads. We're so excited to show you our prototype solar parking lot.
The first thing you'll notice is the surface of our parking lot is made out of glass. It's not your typical glass that you'd think of, but a super strong, textured, tempered glass. And our glass has been subjected to traction testing, load testing, and impact resistance testing, and passed all with flying colors. The next thing you see are the dark rectangular solar cells, and they're sitting on a green background. That green background is the circuit board, which contains the microprocessor, which turns it into an intelligent road. You'll notice that for our prototype, we're only able to cover 69% of the surface with the solar cells, and our final version will be covered 100%. Our mounting holes will soon be covered, and we'll put mastic in between the panels to eliminate the gaps. The heating elements will keep the road surface snow and ice free all winter long. Our cable corridor has 2 sections. One is for power and data, and the other is for stormwater. Data lines include telephone, high-speed internet, fiber optic, things like that. The power side replaces the need for overhead or underground cables and eliminates the possibility of the overhead cables getting icy and coming down. The other side is for stormwater.
Stormwater is a huge source of pollution of our lakes and rivers and oceans. We can treat it right on site or we can move it to a treatment center. Our panels have microprocessors. This gives us the ability to make all of our roads and parking lots and every other application intelligent. In addition to illuminating the LEDs and reading the load cells, the microprocessor is a two-way communications device. With 128 LEDs in each panel and 5 different colors, there is no limit to the lines, texts, and graphics you can create.
Our smart roads will prevent accidents by warning you of danger and will pave the way for driverless vehicles. The solar roadway is a decentralized power grid, which can become the backbone of the new smart grid.
We've been working really hard to use as many recycled materials as we can. We'd love to hire recycling experts to make it even greener. The implementation of our vision on a massive scale can produce more energy than we use as a nation.
We'll have an abundance of clean energy from the sun and will no longer have to depend on fossil fuels.
Solar roadways would provide the infrastructure needed for electric vehicles, allowing them to be charged by the sun rather than by fossil fuels. This project has been a leap of faith from the start. We knew it wouldn't be easy, but we really wanted to make the world a better place.
Along the way, we realized that our project could solve a lot more problems than just greenhouse gases and our dependency on fossil fuels.
We've come this far with just the 2 of us and a couple of part-time volunteers. We work a lot of 18-hour days. We've tried hard to think through every aspect, to get it right, to make an excellent product that is beautiful as well as functional.
We didn't have the funding for load cells and piezoelectric elements, and we'd like to put those in the next version of our panels. We want to create different glass textures for various applications and more sizes for needs like curbs and odd spaces.
We're so fortunate to have potential customers from all over the world, but we need your help to get started. The more money we can raise, the sooner our product will be available. Now we need to bring in a team of the best and brightest people to help us improve it, streamline production, and move us forward.
To enable our vision, we'll need to build manufacturing facilities in every state in the U.S. and nearly every country in the world. That's a lot of jobs. Our plan will help the U.S. and every other country manufacture its way to economic growth.
We'll be working together to create jobs, fight climate change, and make the earth safer and greener. We're hoping to provide all of our children and grandchildren with a cleaner, brighter future.
We're asking for your help. Our technology works, and our test results have been outstanding. Now it's time to gear up for manufacturing.
Will you join us and become part of the paradigm shift that can put our world on a new path?
Thank you.
So there you go. It's a roadway that generates its own power. It will melt snow and ice, so no more shoveling. Imagine if you use that for your driveway. Fantastic. Cuts down on accidents in the wintertime. I mean, it's just freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculously amazing. And think about it, with all the glowing LEDs, eventually every city can look like that movie Tron. And I want to see that. So this is fantastic. Now, this is an Indiegogo project, and they have already well exceeded their funding goal. They had projected they needed about $1 million, and they have $1,500,000, and it just keeps growing every day. It's fantastic. So this is nothing short of revolutionary in my estimation, and this is, again, one of those stories that any of you who watch this show regularly know. Technology, improving people's lives, that's what I'm on board for, even more than, Angry Birds updates. So, fantastic stuff. I loved the roadway from a few weeks ago. This one tops it, as far as I'm concerned. But again, we will post the link to the Indiegogo project on our YouTube page, so you can go take a look for yourself. And on that note, it's time to end once more. Send me your questions, ken@loadedtv.com. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter @WakeUpCallTech and on Facebook. And until next week, I'm Ken McKim. You take care.